Good day, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to a couple of annoyed grunt boys, and this is the 138 Simpsons podcast. That's right, it's the Simpsons podcast where we discuss Simpsons seasons 11 and beyond. Why 11 and beyond? Well, we feel that The Simpsons has been talked about, the golden years that is, 1 through 10, on so many podcasts, but they never really got to talk about 11 and beyond, and that's what we're here doing. I'm half an annoyed grunt boy, Craig, and with me as always
is your half annoyed drunk boy, Steve.
Steve, it's going to be a little different podcast this week and next because it's probably going to be our only two-parter.
This is true. A little change of pace, a little mix them up.
That's right. Well, before we get into that, let's get into our usual Mark Maron talk.
How are the cats?
They're great. Steve, can you play us a little guitar? Thanks.
Yeah,
Steve. I'm assuming everyone just skips this part and just goes into the show talk.
Yeah. Can't wait to get that interview with Barack Obama.
Eventually he'll do the podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have him than the big old orange meanie that's the current president.
Craig.
What?
We're not a political podcast.
That's right, Steve. How have you been this week?
Good. How are your holidays?
Well, does this drop on the day after Christmas?
Yes, Boxing Day, if you will.
Boxing Day. Oh, happy Boxing Day to our Canadian friends up north.
Mm-hmm. And happy St. Stephen's Day to Catholics somewhere.
And to you, Stephen. Happy Saint Your Day.
Yes, my namesake. Patron saint of... No.
As a kid, the day after Christmas was always the most depressing day because you didn't get to open anything. And I mean, yeah, you had your toys to play with, but all that magic is gone, right?
It's true.
And now as an adult, it sucks because you're hungover and you have to go back to work.
But that means that the holidays are over and you don't have to worry about it anymore.
And you got that silly New Year's Eve, which I don't prefer to go out and celebrate New Year's Eve anymore. I think there's a certain age when you're done doing that, right?
Yeah, so Laura and I, we never go out on that day. But
New Year's Eve, you can say it New Year's Eve. It's not a cursed word.
New Year's Eve.
There you go.
But it is our dating anniversary.
Oh.
So that'll be 9 years? Yeah, 9 years.
Holy.
So we've been together.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
That's a longin'.
Yeah, almost a decade.
How was your holidays?
Oh, it was good. Pretty low-key.
Oh, you had Tom Hiddleston there?
Yes, I did.
TV's low-key.
The mother-in-law came over. We had dinner. We opened presents.
Oh, Steve, can we talk about... We went to the movies on the 20th.
That's right.
We saw Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker? Is that the name?
The Rise of Skywalker.
And wow, I was shocked. It was definitely better than The Last Jedi, I think.
Yeah, totally.
And a little bit better than Force Awakens. I think kind of the weird fan service things that JJ put out there was like, it was at the time you're like, oh, that's cool. But thinking about it, I'm like, did they really need to like give Chewie a medal and be like, oh, Chewie, you didn't get this before, but here you go? Because, they make fun of Chewie never getting the medal in that first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Were you a little off-put by that scene with Rey and Finn on that planet where they're asking for help from some like old, like looking like frog creature and he pulls off his fucking hood and it's fucking Jar Jar Binks? Were you like, what the fuck?
I know. And then like when everyone was like, after every sentence, they're like, and Han shot first. Like, and Han shot first.
That was funny when Josh Gad, who that weird cameo, said it. But it was getting a little annoying after like the sixth time.
Right. I mean, we got
Especially the weirdest part too was R2-D2 said it in English, not without beeps.
Yeah.
Just like, was that Billy Eichner doing the voice, by the way?
I think it was, yeah.
That was crazy.
Like, and Han shot first.
Oh, if you haven't seen the movie yet, I'm sorry, we should have put spoiler tags on this. It's really weird.
A ton of spoilers.
So you know how like you've seen like the newer movies, like Kylo Ren's lightsabers had like little side pieces, but the fact that he was actually able to extend them into like long forms and then shoot them out. And then there was that weird like Technicolor button where he made all the blades like do like light shows, like change colors. We had never seen lightsabers do that before.
And it was weird when we saw that other green lightsaber and it turned out that it was just a Green Lantern. What is he doing
Ryan
there?
Reynolds cameo? You're just like, what the fuck?
I mean, I guess I could understand if it was Deadpool, but really?
Bringing back
Green Lantern.
Bringing back that Ryan Reynolds part? Oh, yeah. Some of the other things I liked, I did like Harrison Ford coming back at the end and be like, I wasn't really dead, and I survived that saber blast to my chest in that fall, but, well, kid, Here's the keys to the Falcon. And that was the line we played. That's from the movie. Sorry, we had to play that clip. Yeah. Wasn't the weirdest part too? Like after like he's told his son Kylo Ren like he forgave him. All of a sudden, like out of nowhere, he just like puts the Indiana Jones fedora on. On Adam Driver's head. He's like, "It's your turn now, kid."
And then he started whistling the Indiana Jones theme.
Right, and then like lighting up a joint. Like I think they forgot to yell "cut." And, like Harrison, like he even didn't take his earring out for it either. It was weird. And you saw like I swear I saw Calista Flockhart in the background, like looking at her watch, like,
just like waiting.
Come on. Yeah. I don't know if that's a misstep for the story. It was the end movie, so I feel like they can just do whatever they want because like the saga's over, guys.
Right. It was an interesting choice. I'll say that much.
Some sentimental moments too. I liked when 3PO finally confesses his love to R2.
Mm-hmm.
And then R2 just kind of like, no, we're bros. That's it. Nothing more.
We're brobots, not...
sex bots.
Exactly.
So that was okay. I mean, I kind of cried. It was emotional. The Carrie Fisher stuff was weird.
Yeah.
They said they were using old footage.
And it was just clips from the Burbs.
And wasn't there like clips of like her and Paul Simon like doing coke off of Art Garfunkel's afro?
Yeah.
And it was like, it wasn't even like edited right. It was like really bad 35 millimeter footage.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a stag film or something. I don't know.
It was weird.
What was JJ thinking? Now that I'm thinking about it, this movie was not what I expected.
No. And like when Jennifer Garner came on, she goes, "I'm Alias." And then she just did a backflip and went away. Like, what was that?
And like the entire cast of Lost just shows up and like, is this the island?
I mean, that was the satisfying ending for the show Lost. We finally got that.
Way better. Yeah. I did kind of dig the fact that they brought JJ Star Trek Enterprise in on it. Like in that final battle with all the Death Stars, that weird wormhole opens up and the fucking Starship Enterprise comes out.
And they're playing Sabotage by the Beastie Boys.
Okay, can we get that fade ending? Was just, I laughed so hard. It was the best part. It ended before the credits and it faded out with... So Rey, it ends with Rey on Tatooine with Luke and Leia's lightsabers, and she buries them, and some hermit's like, "Who are you?" She's like, "I'm Rey Skywalker." And they did the voice, so it was Daisy Ridley saying Rey Skywalker, and then all of a sudden you hear a very familiar comedian's voice, right? And it was it was Patton Oswalt, and fades out, and he's in that Parks and Rec courtroom scene, like he's like, and that's how the saga ends. I just thought that was brilliant.
It really wrapped everything up. I mean, it was great to see the Parks and Rec gang again, you know, and that filibuster was like really good. Yeah, I thought it was great.
It also gives the idea that this last Star Wars trilogy was just the character in Parks and Rec was his trilogy, and so if they wanted to do an actual proper sequel trilogy, they can, because this was all just Patton Oswalt's character in Parks and Rec and his vision.
That's right.
Because we did get like Thanos and Iron Man show up at the final battle and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, Steve, out of Bart Spikes, what do you give Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker?
Ooh, wow! I gotta say, I'm gonna give it 4 out of 9.
So you're gonna give it the A New Hope?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it A New Hope.
All right. Well,
what are you, Craig?
I'm gonna give it. I liked it a lot more, Steve. This for me is really The Force Awakens. I'm giving it a 7 out of 9.
Alrighty, 7 of 9. Another weird cameo.
I mean, she's on the new Picard series. Why can't she be in the new Star Wars?
I guess so.
All right. Well, Steve, that's our movie review for Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. Should we just tell people the truth? Or are they going to know that we didn't actually see the movie because we recorded it 4 weeks before it came out?
I think they've probably figured it out at this point. But if you haven't,
sorry
thanks for listening. And don't see the movie because it's all true.
All of it.
Yeah.
But anyways, how about this interesting venture for us for doing a 2-parter episode? If you're watching this episode that originally aired on January 15th, 2017. It's technically episodes 608 and 609, and it was aired as one whole 1 hour when we were kids, and we'd see previews for Simpsons episode. They'd say, coming up this Sunday, 1 full hour of The Simpsons. And I thought, oh my God, The Simpsons is going to be an hour long. And it was it's a repeat after the first episode.
Yeah, or sometimes they double screw you, and it'd just be 2 repeats. Back to back.
And this time they did not screw us because it's legit an hour-long episode. But Steve and I are shills for the Disney Plus app, and Disney Plus has us as 2 episodes. So for this holiday break, this week we are going to be discussing The Great Phatsby Part 1, next week Part 2. So this week's episode, we're only going to talk about Part 1. This episode aired January 15th, 2017. And for that week, Steve, do you know what people were watching.
What were people
that
watching?
Weekend. Academy Award nominated movie Hidden Figures.
Oh.
Followed by La La Land, then Sing, then The Bye Bye Man. I just had to get this because we just saw Star Wars. But yeah, number 5 was Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was what we were watching. This is a pretty recent episode because these movies are... I still have yet to see La La Land.
Oh, La La Land is okay the first time you see it.
All right. Well, what were we? What was the number 1 song for that week?
Well, the number 1 song was Bad and Bougie by Migos featuring Lil Uzi Vert. This song, I know, I've heard it many times. It's got a lot of swears. So what if we, I don't want to hurt our damn kids' ears that are listening. So what if we maybe played a more friendly version of this song?
Had another great summer. Went to camp and didn't break any bones this time. Yeah, just one word of advice though. If the bus driver sees you up, he gonna boot ya. Raindrop, drip, bus stop, got a cookie in my lunchbox. Cookie! Thinking I might ditch, I got caught. Jumping our rope on the blacktop. We came to learn something, teacher. Hey, I don't trust Nicholas, he's a cheater. Quit. Call up his mom and she'll come and get him. No need to give after school detention. My school is rad and groovy. Rad. Jumping our rope, Steve and Susie. Yeah. Pre-K kids are bandaged, toothless. Band-Aid. And they never stop eating the glue. Yeah. My school is rad and groovy. Rad. Jumping our rope, Steve and Susie. Rope. Pre-K kids are bandaged, toothless. Hey. And they never stop eating the glue.
If you want to know why we played the Kids Bot version, go ahead and listen to the original version. There's lots of swears in there.
It's true.
And we wanted to keep it a little clean.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's get on with The Great Phatsby, Steve.
That's right. We're talking about The Great Phatsby, Volume 1, The Betrayal. Mr. Burns tries to relive and crosses paths with the mysterious music mogul. After getting conned by him and reduced to bankruptcy, Burns seeks revenge on the music producer with the help of Homer, Bart, rapper Jazzy James, and the mogul's ex-wife, Praline.
All right, well, let's take our little break and come back and talk about Part 1 of The Great Phatsby.
We'll be right back.
I'm young, so 6th graders gave me noogies. Hey. Wet willies making me woozy. Handstands on handstands, got backbends on backbends. Hung upside down, got a headache. My math teacher has a low pass rate. Math. History class learned about D-Day. War. Fat cookie here on my lunch tray. Cookie. Janitor runs just it's trash day. Trash. Science is my jam learning.
And we're back. Today we're talking about The Great Phatsby, Part 1. It is the 12th episode of the 28th season. It originally aired on January 15th, 2017. It is number 608 in the show's run. Your nerd code is WABF04. It was written by Dan Greaney, directed by Chris Clements, and your showrunners are Matt Selman and Al Jean.
So we've talked about Dan Greaney before. We've done an episode that he has written. That was, I believe, the season premiere, season 17, Bonfire of the Manatees.
I do believe.
And
with Alec Baldwin.
Right. And of course, probably the best Simpsons episode, of all time, at least through the season's 11. That's, of course, Diggs.
Oh,
yeah, he was
Diggs,
a co-writer on that one.
I hope he wrote the good part and forgot to put it in.
Of Diggs?
Yeah.
Well, don't forget he also wrote
not a good episode.
2 great ones, King Size Homer and Summer of 4 Feet 2. So
that's true.
Dan,
no, he's good.
Dan, you're good. And of course, we said it before, but he's also credited for writing Barge of the Future, which episode that The Simpsons predicted Donald Trump presidency 16 years later.
And that Bart would be in a band. Yeah.
All right. So there. Let's get on with this episode.
Greaney. Alrighty. Our episode begins with neither chalkboard gag nor couchboard gag, but rather a voiceover from Homer and a text that reads, The Great Phatsby, Volume 1, The Betrayal.
In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice. He said the laziest way to tell a story is through voice-over narration. With that in mind, I tell the tale of the tragic collision between the last tycoon of the Jazz Age and the king of a hip-hop empire. It began with an old man feeling like his best years had passed him by.
Through that voiceover narration, we see Homer in a tweed 3-piece suit, sipping a martini and reflecting on a lake. We then cut to Mr. Burns doing some reflecting of his own.
This is obviously a Great Gatsby parody, and the first of we've mentioned before that the first hour-long Simpsons, but we're going to break this episode, our podcast episodes, down to 2 because we watched it through Disney, and it's in 2.
And they consider it to be 2 episodes, too, because there's 2 production codes, and it is episode 608 and 609 in the whole series, so.
All right. Well, going to have to admit it, Steve, I've never read The Great Gatsby.
Me neither. I saw the Baz Luhrmann film, and I think I fell asleep or I didn't finish it. In preparation for this, I watched an 8-minute Sparks Notes video on YouTube with some cool drawings about The Great Gatsby.
Not to give your review of this, but would you rather watch the Sparks Note video again or this episode again?
I would rather watch the Sparks Note video.
Well, Steve, you're giving your review away.
For 5 more times, equaling 40 minutes, than to watch.
Steve, what are you saying? We're not at a review yet, I said.
I'm saying that this episode's yet to be decided.
Okay.
But, man, I wish Sparks Notes on YouTube were a thing when I was in high school.
Well, we had Cliff Notes. We could have gone to Barnes & Noble and purchased them.
Spend the $8?
That's true.
I don't know. This is free, and it's on video.
We had Encarta on CD-ROM.
It's true.
Good old Encarta. I got an A off of plagiarizing an article on yellow fever. Our health teacher in 6th grade wouldn't know Encarta. He was the PE coach, man.
He only cared about bombardment.
Right, exactly. He was literally a stereotypical gym teacher from TV.
Yeah.
When I was watching this, I'm like, maybe after this I will watch the Baz Luhrmann Great Gatsby, and I decided against it. I mean, I kind of know the story just based on media in general, and here's my Great Gatsby connection, sort of, with the Baz Luhrmann. I was at a Goodwill, this was a few years ago, and I was looking through the suits, and they had waistcoats, also known as vests, you know, when you wear a suit, and I looked, and one was like kind of cool looking, you know, looked like it was from the 20s or whatever, and I looked and it said, from the Gatsby collection. And I looked this up, and apparently they made a line of clothing from the movie, from the Baz Luhrmann movie. And this sucker was expensive on eBay, and people were selling it at ridiculous prices.
Wow.
And I don't know if you guys ever been to Goodwill, but every week there's a different color tag that says it's half off. So if something's $10 on the tag, but it's a purple tag and there's 50% off, obviously it's only $5. So I see this Great Gatsby thing. I pull up my smartphone, look it up on eBay, what people are selling this for, and it's triple digits. And the price tag was like $13.99, and it was also the same color as the half off color. So
you got a hundreds worth of dollar suit for $7.
Right. So I buy it the next day. Awesome. It didn't fit, which was fine because I wasn't planning on wearing it. And so the next day I put it on eBay and I put down $300.
Yeah.
Buy it now, $300. It sold within about an hour.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great story. I
love
it.
I know. So every time I go to like a thrift store or Goodwill, I always have to search for those vests.
Yay.
All right, back to this episode. So Mr. Waylon Smithers sees his boss, mentor, object of sexual desire in a funk, in a little sad, morose funk. So Smithers suggests some small batch of single origin blood, such as
Johnny Walker Red blood,
Type Obama positive,
the Great A&B Plasma Company,
and Laugh and Leech Artisanal Bleedery. That was fun little signs.
Yeah, that was good. I like the Johnny Walker Red blood.
I don't mind if I do.
There we go. Red. So Burns remembers how exciting his life once was, full of gay shindigs and a summer estate full of shameful excess. Fortunes won and lost at his gaming tables, affairs launched at his dance floor and consummated on his floor. Sultans mingling with sultans of SWAT, and monogram Monty Burns was behind it all. But now, sadness. Smithers then has another idea to please the old coot.
What if we throw a classic shindig at your old summer place?
Why, yes, a beachside bacchanal, just like the Roaring Twenties. That'll put the coal back in my porter.
What fun! Now, I have 45 close friends who are all pretty amazing party planners.
I'm not squandering money on some chap to bring in a photo booth. I'll take care of every detail myself.
Everything, sir?
Oh, fine, you can fetch the ice.
Okay, how many bags?
Oh, no, none of those pricey store-bought cubes. Now you head up to northern Canada and get me a 1/4 ton of lake ice. Hand sawn and tongue carried.
Risk my life in the Arctic wilderness just to bring you some ice. It would be an honor. Would you like it packed in cedar sawdust or Spanish oak?
Oh, who cares? Ice is ice.
I like this little B or C plot throughout the episode where Smithers is going to be sent to Alaska to get ice. Reminded me much of the episode where the ice was transported with Bobo, his teddy bear.
Ew, you got a head bag.
Oh, that was a great episode. Why can't we watch that?
Yeah. We then cut to Homer at the nuclear power plant, complaining about the lack of stuff inside a certain non-branded cookie. Smithers, dressed prepared for his Arctic ice escapade, pops in to have Homer invite his most presentable friends to Mr. Burns' Springfield Hamptons Beach party.
After not inviting Flanders, who was completely unaware, Homer and Bart enjoy the luxurious, thick cardstock of the invitations, while Lisa shares her knowledge of the Springfield Hamptons that she's learned from fine literary magazines such as The New Yorkist.
And though Homer doesn't have time to read all those comics, we do, because what else are we going to talk about? So there's the Egg Hampton, which has publishing moguls, equestrians, and one dude that went to public school.
We have Hampton Haven, 3,000 baby bankers, and 6 rental houses.
We have Beach Hampton, coal heirs, media elites, and 3 nice Asian families that no one knows how they got their money.
How about the West Hampton, retired gallerists, aspiring vintners?
Ooh, there's also the Middle Hampton, old money and nuclear power.
How about Hapaganassat? I think I know how to say it now. Hapaganassat.
You got it.
So it's Republican screenwriters and embittered sailboat owners. Probably John Schwartzwelder.
Oh, yeah, he is a Republican screenwriter. And probably an embittered sailboat owner. I hate this boat. We have Sag Hampton, which has celebrity intellectuals, whaling magnates, and Euro trash.
We got Southern Hampton, which is hedge fund managers.
And we have Hampton Bay, which has potato farmers and Billy Joel.
I love that one. So Homer selects Springfield's sharpest wits and glittering socialites by flyering the windshields of the cars in the Try and Safe parking lot. And the story continues.
And so I entered a world of wealth, where mansions are called cottages, and getting drunk on a boat is called sailing.
As Homer and his party-attending entourage roll up to Burns' summer locale, they are disappointed to find no magic or mischief, but a decrepit horn section, off-brand Ritz crackers, a salt pile, and nothing in a blanket. The crowd grows concerned that Burns has cheaped out.
If I had known this was a cash bar, I would have gotten wasted beforehand at my sister's house.
Welcome, honored guests. Leave your inhibitions at the door and write your name on your drink cup. You will not receive a second. Now, dance the night away on my vintage 1920s parquet floor, the cleaning of which is not cheap, so be sure to don your protective booties.
Look, Mr. Burns, nobody loves a party with rules more than I do. Even I'm baffled by the toilet payment system.
Oh, it's simple. Bring the chit from the applicable restroom to the purser.
You might have been fun 100 years ago, Burnsy, but now you're a cheap old lamewad. And trust me, I know cheap. That's right. I bought a suit, Xeroxed it, returned it, and wore the copy. Waste of my time.
Why is everyone leaving? Of course. No ice. That lazy Smithers is probably sipping hot buttered rum in a ski chalet overlooking Lake Louise.
There's some fun moments in that clip.
He could have used the suit that you got, because it was only $7, and he has to go and photocopy his.
Mo could have sold it on Springfield's version of eBay. What do they have a jokey title for eBay on The Simpsons?
Yeah, it's probably like MeBay or something.
Yeah, like Paybay or Sellbay,
Yeah.
Spring Bay. It has to have Bay in it, apparently. Bay.
Old Salt Bay. Baybay's Kids.
Did you ever see Baybay's Kids?
I don't think
I don't think
so.
I did either. And it was marketed towards kids. Or was it marketed towards, like, this is an adult cartoon? Like, I don't know.
I think it was an adult cartoon because it was like foul-mouthed babies.
Let's find out what Baby Kids was, Steve. Came out July 31st, 1992. Baby's Kids. To impress his new girlfriend, a man agrees to look after her friend's kids, only to find out they are uncontrollably rambunctious.
Baybay's Kids.
Why are we talking about Baby's Kids, Steve? I don't know.
As the party angrily disperses, Monty blames Smithers and his inability to deliver ice, assuming he's sipping hot buttered rum in a ski chalet. We then cut to Waylon on a raft in the Tundra River, fighting off arrows, wolves, and moose drop-kicked by bears to bring home his icy prize.
I thought you would have enjoyed the bear thing there, right?
I actually kind of did. I mean,
Right.
he was kicking a moose. It's two of my favorite things: bears and abuse to moose to mooses. I want a shirt now that says abuse and abuse the moose.
Abuse a moose.
Not that I want to hurt
Abuse
any
moose.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up.
Hey, this episode got a laugh from me.
There, I'm not Dan Greenlee.
You never will be.
So yeah, and according to the original stand-up act of the story, Baby had 4 kids.
Uh-huh.
Robin and the others with
Oh.
Disneyland. Oh, by the way, I'm still talking about Baby's kids. And the second act
Of course.
involves Baby's kids getting Robin to drive them to Las Vegas at gunpoint. In the movie,
Whoa.
there are just 3 kids. The movie takes place in Fun World for legal-friendly reasons, and Robin was just tricked into going to Las Vegas near the end of the movie. So that's
good to know.
And you know that Robin Harris, who was the comedian that
Who's like the bassist who like
they
created
created it, died 2 years before this movie was out. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah, Baby's kids.
Some interesting trivia.
Yeah. So, anyways, meanwhile, we see Mr. Burns lamenting his social failure, and Homer tries to comfort him. And then notice some goings on across the old bay seasoning.
Great Gatsby, what is that?
Someone else is having a party across the bay.
Once I would have thought nothing of rowing across the water and crashing that party. All doors would open for Monogram Monty. That was a long time ago.
Oh, I'll row you over. How hard could it be? Oh, so hard.
Would it help if I whipped you?
Maybe. Yeah, a little. Yeah.
Oh, it's a white party. Just the kind I used to throw. Although we interpreted the theme a bit differently in those days.
So the party is full of famous and fabulous people, including Beyonce chatting it up with Queen Latifah, white elephants serving wine, hors d'oeuvres served from motorcycles, and a mystery host.
Oh, it's a white party. Just the kind I used to throw. Although we interpreted the theme a bit differently in those days. Whoever is throwing this magnificent to-do knows how to enjoy their wealth.
Excessive!
Tell me, where can I find our host?
I haven't met him.
No one has ever met him.
He doesn't exist.
Oh, he's upstairs in his office.
I kind of like that last part with the mystery of like, no one knows who he is. I don't know. And it's like, oh yeah, he's just over there.
Thanks, Phil Lamar.
Oh, was that Phil?
I think so.
That was fun. I did get a chuckle from the white party and how Burns was like
Yeah.
a lot different back in the day. But the white party, I know that is for like that's a thing. I think like Puff Daddy back in the day used to do these white parties in the Hamptons.
Yeah, and I think Kanye may still do them.
Maybe Connie, yeah, it was because it was always in the Hamptons, and I remember it was Howard Stern talked about it because he was invited and went. And what it is, you just have to dress all in white, and everything is white.
Mm-hmm.
A white party, I think of our president's party.
Not a political podcast, but really.
Really,
Come on.
it really should be the orange party, Steve, with that guy in the office.
Oh boy, Craig, you've gone too far.
I'm a real chucklehead over here. Or is it a knucklehead?
You can be a chuckle knucklehead. And it's weird that when they have white parties, they always serve pulled pork, shaken sodas,
grape juice, watermelons,
and blood.
Steve, was it fun seeing celebrities like Beyonce and Queen Latifah? And then that's the only ones I could understand who were.
Yeah.
Figured it out. I'm sure there was others.
Yeah, those are the ones that stood out for me. It was kind of cool to see them Simpsonized, I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean, it's probably expensive to get Beyonce on it, but whatever.
It doesn't work cheap.
Mm-mm.
So it turns out that J.G. was inspired by Burns' book, The Rungs of Ruthlessness, which he found on a bus he stole. And from there on, it became his Bible.
Let's go, Mr. Burns.
What did you say?
Mr. Burns and I were just leaving.
Are you Montgomery Burns, the despised billionaire?
No, that's what my cufflinks say.
There's something I've wanted to tell you for a long time, you ruthless monster.
Yeah.
I love you.
Ah!
You make me believe I can fly. Goocious is on everything, from my cognac-flavored vodka to the brake pads I co-produced with Lil Wayne.
Aw, eats the same way I do, without swallowing. You've flown south for the winter with my heart.
Ow!
I hope this bite never heals.
When I wrote an advice book, I never dreamed it would help anyone.
Everything I am, I owe to you.
I enjoy the Goose and Homer relationship.
I do, though I do have to say, he says he eats just like I do without swallowing. Shouldn't that be chewing? Because all he does is swallow.
Well, it's Homer.
Like-
I'm fine with
Yeah,
that.
that's true. Okay.
Yeah, no, it makes sense in Homer talk.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
But I do love the relationship. It's
I can relate to it because I am an inhaler of food.
mhm.
I eat too fast and I get criticized of like, why aren't you savoring the food? Like, chew it. And I'm like, nope, I don't know why. I just want to eat it.
Yeah, I get it.
That's what makes me fat, Steve. To enjoy the food and you bite into it and chew it every once in a while. Keep it in your mouth. Is that how it works? You store it on your cheeks and then go back to it, spit it back into the frontal part of your mouth, start chewing a little bit more, put it back in the cheeks like you're a fucking squirrel.
That's
Is that how I'm
eating.
supposed to eat?
Pretty much is. Instead of just like deep throating a hot dog and being like, done.
Deep throat hot dogs. Wait, what? Anyways, Steve, I got a fun little fact about this.
Okay.
Did you know that Robin's car from BB's Kids changes colors many times throughout the movie?
Huh.
And when BB's kids are boarding the pirate ship, Leon is one of the others who go on to, but in the next shot, Leon is boarding again. Only he's
Wow.
one of the last kids.
Huh.
So that's some BB's Kids updates. How about back to this episode?
Alrighty, keep me posted. We then see the excess luxury of dancers on, speaking of, a pirate ship, ladies jump roping with bling, acrobatics on blimps, and Rolexes being flung like t-shirts at a basketball game.
JG names the party in Burns' honor, and we get a nice little visual reminiscent of a certain Leo DiCaprio meme.
The meme of Leo holding a champagne glass, him doing good things. Or like when good things happen to you, you're just like, eh.
Oh, okay.
But it's also, memes are stupid. I hate memes.
Yeah, memes are stupid.
So was forged the most unlikely of friendships. A man who discovered Rick Ross and a man who dated Betsy Ross. The next day, my family explored Middlehampton, a wonderland of boutiques paid for by rich husbands wanting to keep their wives busy. Mainly second wives.
So there they are, the Hamptons. And in the middle of the Hamptons, the wonderland of boutiques include...
Downward Dog, a yoga studio for pets.
Lavender, a shop for guest bathroom soaps.
Julia's late afternoon scarves.
Jane's not sure what pottery class coming soon.
And the Enlightened Scoop, an ice cream shop that offers interesting flavors such as quince, jelly, and pepper, market greens, and bone broth brittle.
So this is very much in kin to a Portland ice cream store that's now gone down to, I think they're in San Francisco and LA now.
It was actually funny. I was in LA, and on the street there was a Stumptown Coffee, Salt and Straw, and a Voodoo Donuts. And I was just like, oh, all this great LA stuff that I'm seeing.
There's a Voodoo Donuts in LA?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And they're not good.
Was it next to a Powell's Books?
Yeah, maybe I didn't go on vacation.
And a Taco Time? That's a Portland
right.
establishment.
Yeah, right next to the Burgerville.
And the Sherry's. We're all mentioning Pacific Northwest restaurants. So
yeah.
What we're referring to is a place called Salt and Straw. And if you get a chance, I've already talked about it before, but on Disney Plus, the Jeff Goldblum show.
Oh, does he go
goes
there?
To Salt and Straw and they make a Jeff Goldblum flavored ice cream. And it's literally they go into the forest and forage salmon berries. And other herbs and it doesn't sound good. And then he takes his ice cream to United States Navy ship and they're having an ice cream social on it. And he brings his ice cream there to serve to the proud men and women of our Navy his ice cream that doesn't sound good. And they're being nice, like, oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah, what a wonderfully ridiculous man he is.
How do you feel about the artisanal, as I guess you would say, for the ice creams? Like, let's put a ground black pepper with licorice and caviar.
I actually love them. I actually have the menu pulled up here. So some of the more unique flavors that Salt and Straw has, an olive oil ice cream. There's a pear and blue cheese, which I've had. That one's really good. There's also a strawberry.
I'm not a blue cheese guy, so I don't know if I'd like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you're not a blue cheese.
No.
But the flavors work. Another one that they have that I can't have because of my tummy.
Balsamic?
Strawberry honey balsamic with black pepper. And that sounds really good, actually.
I don't know. I mean, I mean, I'd eat it, but I don't know if I'd go out of my way to eat it. But in the scene when the kids run out of the Fun World's toy store, the kids behind LaShawn wearing the light blue coveralls change his complexion from very sunburned to no sunburn. Again, of course, referencing some goofs from Bebe's Kids.
Check out our upcoming podcast. Hey, it's Bebe.
So yeah, Salt and Straw, I'm still kind of a classic ice cream flavor guy, so I don't know.
I get it. My biggest problem with Salt and Straw is there's always a damn line.
Yeah.
So you have to wait forever.
We just got a In-N-Out burger, only about 45 minutes from us, so that's going to be probably like another 3 years before I'll actually go down just to... I've had In-N-Out before, and I wasn't blown away.
It's fine. I don't want to anger anybody. It's good, but it's just good.
But I also enjoy Five Guys. Do you like a Five Guys?
That's fine, Craig. You can like as many guys as you want.
I mean, I'm just saying, I like Five Guys in my mouth more than most.
Okay, I mean...
You know what's really good is Five Guys also serves wieners, so I love it when I have Five Guys wieners. So...
And what's nice about Five Guys is you can just drop your nuts on the floor.
Oh, I love that.
Anyway, so as Bart complains about the cone shop, a young douchebag rolls in on a hoverboard, donning a pop collar, polo, and Bluetooth headset, cutting the line completely, which upsets Lisa.
That kid just cut in line. Are you going to let him do that?
That's Blake Black. His dad runs Black Lake Investments.
So?
Richest dad rules. Everyone knows that.
Well, I don't.
Don't misunderstand me. Mats Wielander may have been a decent player, but until his English gets just a little bit better, he can coach somebody else. Pardon me a second. What is it, head points? What?
Just because your father has money doesn't mean you can cut.
It kind of looks like it does. All right, I'll tell you what. Because I am a nice guy, I am going to pay for everyone's cones. Is that okay? Does that make it okay?
Yes! No! I would never accept ice cream from someone whose manners are in the bottom 1%.
Then that douchebag asks Lisa out.
What did you think of douchebag McGee?
I mean...
Blake?
Blake, yeah. They made a douchebag look like a douchebag. It's funny that he doesn't have a kid's voice at all.
Reminds me a little bit of Roy.
Oh, yeah. He kind of looks like Roy.
He looks like Roy, but not as cool as Roy.
Yeah, Roy was a cool dude with attitude. This guy's just a potzer,
He's a friggin' doorknob. This episode's pretty recent, so it's not like... the jokes are pretty timely, because people still ride those, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I see him in downtown all the time.
I mean, what's wrong with Walken, right?
Yeah.
I mean...
He's a fine actor. Yeah. He might have killed somebody,
he just killed Natalie Wood, that's about it.
Do you think when he pushed her over the bridge, she was like, would or would not? And then he pushed her, because her name's Natalie Wood. He probably didn't say that, but it's a dumb joke to say, especially when you're murdering somebody.
What did OJ say when he murdered somebody? Did he have a fun quip?
Knife to meet you?
Yeah.
No, because he already knew them. That doesn't work.
He's like, consider it a divorce.
Yes.
Because Arnold Schwarzenegger say that famous line to Sharon Stone in Total Recall. O.J. Simpson was supposed to be the Terminator, but James Cameron said he didn't want him because O.J. was too nice of a guy that no one would believe he could murder someone. Welcome to Terminator Talk. It's replacing Baby's Kid Talk. I will be coming back with Terminator information here.
We'll be back.
That was pretty solid.
And as always, hasta la vista, baby.
Back to the show, Steve.
Alrighty. We then hear from Bart, who's jealous that Lisa has a rich boyfriend. Homer's hanging with a hip-hop super producer, and he's stuck window shopping with fun-sucking stink buckets. It is then explained to him by a vendor of elite candles that life isn't fair.
It's not fair.
Life's not fair, kid.
Do I know you?
If life was fair, you would know me. But know this, JG ain't all that.
What do you mean?
Buy a candle, and I tell you.
What's your cheapest one?
$55.
No way. I could start a fire in the woods for nothing.
So Bart met someone who I think comes back later. I forget why.
I like Bart could light his house on fire for free. Also, did you know Arnold Schwarzenegger tried to avoid Lena Hamilton and Michael Biehn as much as possible since the Terminator was trying to kill them? So to form connections, so he was didn't want to talk to them.
I didn't know he's so method. Good on you, Arnold.
Oh, back to the O.J. Simpson thing. So he was considered for the Terminator, but the producers figured he was too nice, right? In 1990, before Simpson's first trial, Dark Horse Comics printed an issue using his likeness. I gotta get that issue.
Ooh, that's got to be worth a lot of money.
Probably not. But I kind of remember back in the 90s, there was a Terminator comic from Dark Horse, which, of course, Dark Horse is published here in the great city of Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And did you know that Arnold Schwarzenegger's famous line, "I'll be back," was originally scripted as "I'll come back"? And Arnold had a hard time doing it because he's like, "I'll come on your back. I like coming. Come everywhere." Because he was famous in that Pumping Iron video. You've seen that, right? Where he's like, it's like coming. I might have to put that clip in this episode. Steve, let's listen to it.
It's as satisfying to me as coming is, as having sex with a woman and coming. So can you believe how much I am in heaven? I'm like getting the feeling of coming in the gym. I'm getting the feeling of coming at home. I'm getting the feeling of coming backstage when I pump up, when I pose out in front of 5,000 people. I get the same feeling. So I'm coming day and night. I mean, it's terrific, right?
Great clip. Okay.
Great clip.
Back to The Simpsons, maybe?
Let's do it.
We then see JG bonding over wealth as the rap entrepreneur shows off his various enterprises and their accompanying jets, such as J Jeans Leatherwear,
Beats by J,
Golden Goose Records,
and one for his personal horticulturist, if you get what I'm saying.
I think I am, man.
Yeah, dude.
I smoke the Mary Janes.
The doobie doobie doo.
Woo woo woo.
Where are you?
Yoinks.
You see that trailer for that movie?
You say that shit?
I think I said that movie, but sure, why not?
I heard, like, you see the trailer for that movie. I mean, I did. It's fine. It's going to introduce new kids to Scooby-Doo. We have our Scooby-Doos from the 70s, Steve. Yeah, we're fine. I don't care.
If you were to ask me what cartoon from my kid, or not from my kid, I don't have a kid, from my childhood would last another 50 years, there's no way I would have thought it would be Scooby-Doo. It's like when I was a kid, I was like, this is dumb. Every episode's the same. You just get Casey Kasem or Harlem Globetrotter sometime, but other than that, it's the same.
Yeah. I mean, what cartoon can last like 30 plus years? None.
I know. Give it up already.
I know, exactly. God. Wait a minute. As Homer continues to bond with the Goose mascot, JG offers Monty the most exclusive of credit, the Obsidian card, which is, of course, a parody of the AMX Black card, which Steve and I have like 3 of them, I think. Just from this podcast alone. Meanwhile, Lisa is on a yacht with her new rich asshole whale watching. And in order to bring the whales closer to Lisa, Richie Cunty Rich lifts the mammals via helicopter, upsetting the environmentally conscious Simpsons daughter. Lisa, that is, not Maggie. She's not in this episode. I mean, she probably is, but anyways.
Nope. I don't think she is, actually.
Shithead Blake is, I think he's a little pissed, Steve.
Uh-oh.
These aren't VIP emotions. This is worse than the time I had to eat grocery store sushi. The shiso leaf was plastic. It was plastic.
So have you ever had grocery store sushi? Because I sure have.
Oh, yeah, I have too.
And nothing ever happened to me, I'm going to say. So
no, it's not awful.
No.
In fact, when I was in Hawaii, it's everywhere, and it's really good.
I bet it is in Hawaii. Yeah, because I'm not a sushi snob, and we've talked about it on the podcast before, but I love a conveyor belt sushi place. It's like my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I'm just hungry and I want sushi, sorry. But I like,
it's okay.
I like Blake's outrage there.
Yeah, it's sad that they broke up, but it wasn't going to last.
No, that's not a guy for stupid Lisa Garbage Face.
Also, she's 10. She shouldn't worry about long-term relationships. Wait till you're 12.
Right. Wait a minute. How old's your wife again?
She's...
When you met her, I mean.
Oh, she was 21. Old enough to drink.
Steve, I think there's someone at the door. That's Chris Hansen. And Beck Hansen.
Oh, they've got 2 turntables and a microphone.
He's got some...
And some Zima.
No, he's got some sex laws for you, Steve.
That's great. That was a good joke. I like that a lot.
All right, well, let's get back to this episode.
Okay. So Burns and JG are shopping for bling, and that inspires Monty to live it up as he used to, splurging courtside at a basketball game, watching simultaneous boxing matches and horse races, and releasing his own brand of water, Landinum B.
At the Dr. Dre's Without Borders auction, we see Jack Nicholson. Now you have to do your Elton John impersonation. Say Elton John.
Elton John.
And Halle Berry.
Really good.
Okay. So they bid on the basketball lessons from Charles Barkley. Mr. Burns wins the auction by bidding $10 million. Ooh. Nora Dunn.
Lorraine Newman.
Mary Tyler Moore.
A jar of mayonnaise.
Jesse Smollett from TV's Empire.
Oh, Empire. Yeah, it's kind of like this show.
Anyway, so he wins it for $10 million for the hoops tutorial with the former Phoenix Sun. And back to Homer explaining the affairs of state.
Mr. Burns was living the high life, splurging on every luxury, even the ultimate indulgence, useless hangers-on, like me.
Nice!
To think all the years I wasted without a pussy. Goodbye, loneliness.
We get all this stuff just for letting Mr. Burns beat us in mini golf. What a deal!
My whole job is to not make eye contact with him.
Yeah, so Lenny doesn't make eye contact. That's great.
Yeah.
Another funny thing was Sarah Connor is 18 years old in the movie. This is proven in the sequel, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, where Dr. Selman says Sarah is 19 years old, and the T-1000 checks Sarah's son, John Connor's profile, which says he's 10 years old, having been born when Sarah was 19. So there's some Terminator trivia.
I'll give that a thumbs up as I melt down in molten
One
lava.
more thing about this episode. Mel Gibson turned down the role of Terminator, simply feeling he wasn't right for the part. After seeing the film, he praised Arnold Schwarzenegger as a much better choice, and then went on calling him some racist words and anti-Semitic things, which is weird because you'd think they would be perfect together because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
But, okay, back to the episode.
We then see Burns offering Rolexes to his new entourage, a track-suited cabal of Barney, Homer, Moe, Chief Wiggum, Lenny, and Carl roll up in convertibles, sipping on caviar, as they are in the posse as well.
But back in the shopping district of the Hamptons, Marge Simpson continues her window shopping, admiring a chessboard made of lipstick, while Lisa comes up with two conflicting attractions, a horse show and a protest of that horse show. Lisa finds a familiar face among the crowd, Steve. Do you want to know who it was?
Blake, is that you? What happened to your privilege?
I checked it. Lisa, when you rejected me, I knew I had to do whatever it took to become worthy of you. This now runs on solar power and falafel.
Now that's sustainable.
I've dedicated my entire allowance to trustafarians for horse justice. Here's an upside-down bucket for you to drum on.
Well, what girl could say no to a socially conscious drum circle?
Yo, Lapdress! I've got all-access paddock passes to the horse show. Check out these sweet mane combs.
I can get you up close to the horses for primo grooming time.
Combing is murder! Combing is murder!
Primo grooming time.
The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in the mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function.
Horsey, 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 horsey!
For her, I gave up what meant most to me, being a douche.
I love how horses always come into Lisa,
Yeah.
Which I think is weird now. I think maybe newer Lisa should probably be anti people with horses and using them for riding. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because it is a classic little girl thing to like horses, but it also kind of goes against her beliefs. But I kind of like that kind of dichotomy tearing at her, because it's like, that's the one thing that keeps her a kid. And we like
You're
Kid
right.
Lisa.
Yeah. Steve, were you a horsey girl?
No, I have ridden a horse or two. Felt nothing. How about you,
You
Craig?
didn't break your hymen the first time you rode a horse?
It's a lie.
I think I've been on a horse once. It was like my uncle had horses, but I didn't actually ride it. He was just I was on it, and he was, had the rope and was just walking with the horse. And it was kind of humiliating because I think it was 14. Because he was like, "You want to ride the horse?" I'm like, "Not really. Come on, ride the horse." I'm good. Get on the horse. It's nice. Okay. But I'll walk it with you.
You're a horsey.
Yeah.
As Lisa opts for horse love, Homer shares his concern that Burns is spending too much money. This reminds the rich old man of Smithers, who is stuck in the Arctic nightmare. Remember him? Burns attempts to fill up his gas tank, but is met with a surprise.
Then that means you're broke.
Broke? Me? Broke? Me?
Yes, I'm afraid I have to destroy your card.
Good luck. It's tempered titanium and coated with powdered diamond.
I got no money. I got no money.
Don't take it. This car leased in someone else's name is who I am.
Oh, man. Burns lost his car, Steve. His credit card doesn't work. How can be?
How can be? So as the repo depot hauls away Burns' excessive belongings, Homer believes that this was planned all along.
I think Jay wanted you to bankrupt yourself.
Why would you say such a thing?
It's #1 on the charts.
Used to be the man, Burns, now you just a bad joke. Used to be about to die, now you only dead broke. I gave you the card, Burns, and you spent your mind out. It was all a trap, yo, as you about to find out. JG is CEO of Obsidian, biatch. Now your bank account is withering, your bottom lip is quivering, your Hufflepuff, I'm slithering, there's no one doing your slithering. This is where your money went, evict you from the 1%. Now watch me as my fingers tint, cause I own you, it is excellent.
Excellent. You're broke now. Your cash was your passion, now Jay owns your ass, son.
If these rhymes are to be believed, Jay lured me into debt, and now he owns everything, even my beloved nuclear plant. Our magical friendship was a sham.
Oh man, Steve, that's the end of the episode.
Oh no, he's
Right,
hit rock bottom.
JG lures Burns to debt, and he is left crying, shirtless, and having just kicked a dog. And so he's truly at a rock bottom. Again, not seeing or reading Great Gatsby. I kind of did like the twist at the end, like he owned the AMX card or whatever.
Yeah, it was a sham all along.
He doesn't like Burns at all. What
He
a
got
jerk.
played.
So this is, again, Great Gatsby, and then at the time, too, Empire, which I didn't say before, but I started watching Empire when it first came out, like on Hulu. But it was like during like the breaks where my TV shows were on breaks. I'm like, I have nothing to watch, and I hear nothing but good things about Empire. So I watched it, and I'm like waiting for them to recast Terrence Howard with Don Cheadle, and it didn't happen.
I get that reference.
That's an Avengers reference. Captain America
Yeah,
says that.
I understand
Wow,
it.
you haven't even seen those movies. Unless you have, because you have Disney Plus. Now you can actually watch them. So around at the 59-minute mark, the movie's line, I'll Be Back was voted as the number 37th movie quote by American Film Institute out of 100. And as a number 95 of 100 greatest movie lines by Premiere Magazine in 2007. And, get this, James Cameron seriously considered Jennifer Jason Leigh for the role of Sarah Connor. It was narrowed down to herself and Linda Hamilton. Cameron and Hamilton would later bang because, they're married from 91 to 99. Should we keep on going with Terminator talk, or should we talk about The Simpsons?
Break. We'll think about Baby. We'll think about Terminator.
I think that sounds great, Steve. We'll be right back.
The loneliest moment in someone's life is when they're watching their whole world fall apart, and all they can do is stare blankly. Oh no, wait, he's crying now. That's worse. Now he's really sobbing heavy. Oh, now he's gone to his knees and he ripped his shirt open. All of his buttons fell off of his shirt. Oh, now he's kicking his porch. Oh, he hurt his foot and he's hopping around. Oh, he tripped over a dog. That's way worse. Montgomery Burns had hit rock bottom.
And we're back. Let's just do a quick wrap-up of The Great Gatsby Part 1, and we'll go in more depth next week when we have the 2 episodes complete.
Should we talk about where it's going, how it's gone?
Yeah, how do we feel about it so far?
It's not one of the best, Steve, for me.
Yeah, I agree. Feels like a bit of a slog. It's just tonally off to me, and I mean, it's cool to see this different world, but all in all, it's a little rough.
We know that The Simpsons can pull off a longer format because of, like I say, Who Shot Mr. Burns? That's pretty much one episode, right? Part 1 and 2. That's a long narrative. And then even the Simpsons movie, which is really funny. So, yeah, I just feel like right now I'm not really digging it. Does it mean Part 2 is going to change my mind? I don't know. I guess we should find out.
We'll see, but I think, like, if you took the bare bones of the plot, I mean, I guess it's just the plot of Great Gatsby, but, like, the success and then the betrayal, it's kind of interesting. Execution, maybe not so much.
Yeah, would you have preferred if instead of like a JG, like they would just use an existing Simpsons character and almost do this as a treehouse style where like it's not part of the continuity?
That's an interesting thought. It is a little difficult to have all these new characters being introduced and then this like plot that is outside of the Simpsons world. Like that duopoly is kind of confusing, I guess. Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's surprising they haven't done the parody of The Great Gatsby. I mean, it could be easy enough for they could do a 3 tales of like great literature, right? And this would have been one of
Yeah.
them. So we probably only needed 8 minutes of The Great Gatsby and would have got it instead of this 2-part.
Instead, we have 42.
Again, maybe part 2 changes our mind. And should we do our favorite quotes and shirts and all that kind of stuff for next week?
Yeah, let's save it for next week.
Yeah, everyone's on holiday break anyways, not listening to this.
Yeah, so enjoy your turkey or your goose, and you'll hear from us next week.
Right.
As we finish this, let's see, 2-word thing for, like a trilogy, but 2.
A duology.
We'll finish this duology next week.
Right. But in the meantime, you can always follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at 138Simpsons.
And you can always email us at 138simpsons@gmail.com.
We also have a store on TeePublic, which is tpublic.com/user/annoyedgruntboys. If you don't want to do that, just go to our Twitter or Instagram bio page, and we have a link tree there. You just click on that link, and it's the links to all of our stuff. Podcast,
and
store.
We'd love to hear from you, hear your thoughts, buy a shirt, do what you want.
We'll see you next week for Great Phatsby Part 2. For this week, I've been half annoyed Grunt Boy Craig.
And I've been half annoyed Grunt Boy Steve.
And remember, keep watching the skis.
Smell you later.
I'm a worn-out old miser who's forgotten the meaning of fun.